Hey guys, welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit, Am I the A-hole? This one's from user Broke Wife. Would I be the a-hole if I got help from a charity despite our joint income being very high? My husband, 38 male, and I, 24 female, have a combined income of $60,000 per year, or thereabouts. He is the big earner at $50,000, and I scrape by on a much lower income part-time job. He has always been very protective of his earnings, as he has worked very hard for the job he has. Since moving in together, we agreed to mostly keep our own expenses separate. If I buy things for the household, like shopping or cleaning, bills, etc., we split them in half. If I go to the store, I give him the receipt and he adds up how much of the items are shared and transfers me half. Anything we get for ourselves is paid for out of our own accounts. Any personal expenses, etc. He does, however, pay a much higher portion of the rent. This has worked fine for us. I do the majority of the housework to make up for not contributing as much and because I have more free time around my job. The issue we have right now is that I'm pregnant. Because of our agreement, I am expected to pay for anything medical, any bits I need for the duration of the pregnancy, or anything I will need post-birth for myself out of my own money. He will pay for half of everything directly relating to the baby, but everything else is my responsibility. I am in a position now where I simply can't cover everything, and any conversation I have tried to have has ended up with the same outcome. I knew what the agreement was before we started trying. I genuinely thought that I would be able to cover a lot more, or that some of the things are more to do with the baby than me, so he would help. But he has very clear definitions of what is for me and what is for the baby. Thanks to insurance, a lot of medical bills are covered, but having to buy a whole new bigger wardrobe and things I didn't originally think of that I need or will need, breast pads, maternity pads for after the birth, etc., are adding up. There is a charity nearby which would help to supply some of these things, but I feel absolutely awful turning to them when I know it would make such a small dent in my husband's wage and he would be perfectly capable of covering it if he was inclined to. I just feel a bit desperate, but I am completely torn up as to the ethics of it. So, would I be the a-hole for asking for some help from this charity? The judgment is not the a-hole. Now let's take a look at the top comments. Your credit score 100 says, hold up, your husband doesn't think he should pay for the pregnancy? It's not like you just suddenly became pregnant on your own. He contributed just as much into making that child. He is just as responsible and you need to hold him to that. You have to carry that baby in your body and your body will handle the consequences, not his. But he still gets his child out of this. Not the a-hole, but your husband should be helping you. Finances seem to be its own problem in your relationship too. Illustrious Complex 6 says, your husband is abusing you financially. It's something that happens often in relationships with large age gaps. Leave home now and go somewhere safe. Shirangul says, holy crap, are you serious? The issue here isn't that you're thinking about going to a charity. The issue here is that your current situation necessitates you considering going to a charity. Being pregnant isn't like adopting a puppy. This is his flesh and blood. The fact that he's pinching pennies when it comes to the care of his wife who is carrying his child makes him a massive tool. I don't care how much he worked for his job. He's going to be a father, and part of that is taking care of the mother of his child. If he is steadfastly against helping you, by all means go to the charity. Once your immediate needs are met, it's time for some couples therapy. This dude doesn't seem to understand how relationships work. I hesitate to see what kind of father he'll be. Not the a-hole at all. Okay, OP, first I'm gonna get this out of the way. You are not the a-hole. Your husband, however, is way more than an a-hole. Like the second commenter says, that guy's abusing you financially, like horribly. And you need to get away from him as fast as you can. Regardless of the age gap, you guys are a team. It shouldn't be separate finances if you're married. Maybe if you have a prenup in the case you divorce, fine. But while you're in it together. You're not roommates. It's not supposed to be divided like that. I mean, what? He takes the receipts and says, well, this is just for your consumption, so you pay for it. What the hell kind of arrangement is that? Honestly, OP, I was raging while I was reading your post, the way you were just saying it like it was so normal. The way he treats you regarding finances is disgusting. And the fact that he's gonna become the father of your child now just worries me, because what kind of a father is he going to be? No, OP, you need to get away from that guy. Most of you know that I do not lightly recommend a couple breaking up, particularly one that's expecting a baby. But in this case, I highly recommend it. What do you guys think OP should do? What would you do? What do you think about this situation? Let me know in the comment section, and let's move on with the update to see what ended up happening. I am sorry it has taken so long for an update, but I wanted to thank all the people who commented and sent links to helpful places. The short of the story is that I left. It has been very hard. I am a single mother and I have been completely cut off from my ex-husband. He does not pay any money to me or for my baby. I did what people here recommended, and I spoke to the people at the charity and some of the women around the town. They were all horrified by it, and I think it was their reaction that made me properly realize I was not in a good position. They helped me. They helped me leave and find a shelter and a job. I am able to stay until I have enough to rent a place of my own. One woman and her husband paid my medical bills, and I am so eternally grateful to them. I will never be able to repay them. I made them my child's godparents. To answer some questions left over from my last post, I did not initially want to have a baby, but my ex-husband convinced me that it would be for the best. When I wrote the post, I was too far gone to change my mind, and I have no regrets now. My child is the light of my life. I do not have any family left. My parents died when I was young, and my grandparents on my mom's side raised me until they passed away when I was in my late teens. I had nobody to turn to or help me until I reached out to the people in my town. I don't want to say anymore because I don't want my ex to ever see this and find me. Thank you to you all again. OP, congratulations on getting away from that horrible situation. That last statement though kind of troubles me a little bit, that you don't want your ex to find you. Is that because you're not divorced yet, or did you just run away and cut ties and he still has some sort of legal claim to the child that you don't want him to have? I don't know, it's really just speculation on my part. I definitely think that what you need now is some legal help, because if you're just running away from him with the baby and there is no legal proceeding going on with your separation, and he does find you, then he can probably take that child away from you because you ran away with it. At this point, of course, this is all just speculation on my part, but I would say seek a lawyer, get help. What about you guys? What do you think OP should do at this point? Let me know in the comment section. And now, let's move on to the next post. This one is from user His Loyal Concubine. Am I the a-hole for not rescheduling my surgery for a third time? So, a little TMI backstory. I, female 29, need to have a hysterectomy due to uncontrollable issues stemming from having my cervix removed due to precancer cells all over it. I've been living with a constant period for 2 years, and my doctor is the one who asked me if I wanted to have the surgery. He gave me a couple months to think about it, and I finally decided to bite the bullet since my issues are causing daily problems, including having to miss work because I need to be in the bathroom when I really flare up and can't even go an hour without soaking through an overnight pad, and I rely on the bus to get to work, which takes an hour and a half. I have tried different birth controls trying to stop my period, but because I don't have a cervix, it is just impossible to stop bleeding so much. The first time it was rescheduled was in December, and the hospital shut down for everyone but emergency patients due to the health crisis getting really bad in my area. Understandable. The second time was when my parents, who would be babysitting while I'm in the hospital, told me they were uncomfortable with me getting it, early February, due to the health crisis and not wanting me to bring it back to them when I got out. Here's the issue. My stepsister, Melissa, 30, is getting practically her whole body plastic surgery less than a month after my surgery is scheduled. She scheduled hers after we found out when my surgery would be and expects her mom to take care of her fully. like a baby pretty much with how much work she's getting done at once. My stepmom fully agreed to it, knowing it was less than a month from my surgery and knowing she would have to take care of my daughter and me for a week. Today, my stepmom told me she wants me to reschedule again so she can devote her time and energy into preparing for taking care of her daughter. I told her I can't reschedule anymore because I'm about to lose my job with how much time I've had to take off of work due to my issues. I also said if she feels that way, could I at least ask her to watch my daughter when I'm in the hospital and then I'll figure something out when I get out. She got very offended and said I was being rude and inconsiderate of Melissa because I just want to stop having my period. Which made me upset because we talked through everything for hours when I was originally told the last options were to either live with it or get my surgery. Now my stepmom refuses to talk to me. My dad won't get in the middle of this. And I'm left feeling like the a-hole because I refuse to reschedule a surgery that I consider very needed. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? The judgment is not the a-hole. Now let's take a look at the top comments. Purple Goat in a Tutu says, not the a-hole. Your surgery is medically needed and you already delayed once for your parents. But your dad is a special form of a-hole since you are his kid and he is pushing the work of helping you onto your stepmother. She's a bit of an a-hole for asking you to delay needed surgery twice. False Expectation 702 says, not the a-hole. Yikes! Is there anyone else, like other family or friends, who might be able to help you out? OP responds, unfortunately, most of my friends and family have moved pretty far away. The only people left that my daughter is comfortable with are my parents. Sunny Girl says, not the a-hole. Your stepmom on the other hand? Does she not realize that a constant period can kill you? Geez, I had a similar problem, constant period, that was so severe that when the hospital staff saw my hemoglobin, they wondered how I was standing. Absolutely agree, OP, you are not the a-hole. Your stepmother is a huge a-hole for asking you to do this and prioritizing her daughter's plastic surgery over your surgery, which is, I would say, more urgent. Your dad? Well, he's just a copping out tool, man. I'm not gonna get in the middle of this. What a spineless dweeb. And then your stepsister, who knew that you were going to go through this and had spoken to her mother, decides to schedule her full body cosmetic surgery just 1 month after you, knowing everything. So basically, you've got 3 tools that are useless. I don't know if it's an option, but maybe if your daughter has a kindergarten teacher that she's comfortable with, you could talk to her and see if she's willing to help you out, or maybe even get paid for taking care of your daughter for the day that you're in the hospital, and then you can figure something else out, like you said. What do you guys think OP should do? And if she gets to sort it out, do you think she should keep in touch with her stepmother, father, and that ridiculous stepsister? Let me know in the comments section, and let's move on with the update to see what ended up happening. First of all, I never expected to get as much attention as I did. Thank you all so much for your input and for helping me find alternatives. Now, here's what happened since. My best friend apparently had been talking to her husband. They decided that even though they have 4 kids, one of whom is just 7 months, she will fly in from Chicago and stay with me for 2 weeks to help take care of my daughter and myself. I had no idea they were talking about it, as she has always talked about how they barely manage with the 2 of them to take care of their kids. But her husband knows we are more like sisters than friends, and he honestly was appalled at how my parents were treating this, so he insisted he could take care of the kids. She will be missing Easter with them, but says that she wants to be here for me. My stepmom has gone no contact, and my dad has said he will drive me to and from the hospital, but that's it. He is barely talking to me, which is normal on his part as he's very stoic and has never really talked to me much, even growing up. I do feel like a big weight has been lifted, and I am glad I can go ahead with my surgery. It sucks that my parents don't really care about it, but there's not much I can do. Melissa has always been the favorite, and I think my stepmom going no contact and my best friend doing what she's doing is really showing me who my real family is. Again, thank you to everyone. Wow, OP, your best friend and her husband are the MVPs in this story. They are awesome! Like you say, they are your real family. I mean, she's flying in all the way from Chicago to stay with you for 2 weeks, leaving her kids behind with her husband, who's going to take care of 3 kids and a 7-month-old baby. Wow, that's love. I would say, OP, your stepmom going no contact is a positive thing because she sounds like a huge C. Hopefully, OP, your surgery goes fantastic and your recovery is swift and good and everything is fine after that and you stay no contact with that B. And so, we've reached the end of the video. I truly hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to reach our goal of 100,000 subscribers. Also, if you feel like chatting with others from this community, you can always join my Discord server and check out my subreddit. I'll leave the links in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next video.